Why do you keep delaying things? Why you avoid to do what you need to do? And more important than that, if you understand why is that, would be possible for you to avoid delaying, avoid. Let's try to understand this. The first thing that we need to understand is this. In many occasions, what we are avoiding is not what we need to do. It's the discomfort of doing what we need to do. For example, there is this warehouse, my parents' warehouse, that we need to really to rebuild, because it was a construction from the 70s and we need to rebuild it, put everything together. But the reality was this: the warehouse was there, was rented, my parents were receiving money, everything seemed to be okay. But the reality is this: the rebuilding of the building, we should do and we must do, because the value of the rent was too low. The rent was not in the real value, the right value for that area. So I remember talking to my father, telling him, "Dad, we need to do that. We need to do it. What we are going, we have to talk with the tenant." I remember him. He was there for more than 15 years, something like that. He has been there with his company. He was called Senhor Miranda. Senhor Miranda, common name here in Brazil. So I talked to him many times, and think about this. We did everything. We rebuilt the warehouse, the warehouses. They were three warehouses that we reshaped in two bigger warehouses in front of an avenue here in our city. And we talked to the tenant. We give him time to move, and he moved. Then I did the construction. It took something around 1 year, and but think about this change when you know that you need to do something. When we finished the construction, I was able to rent the new warehouses, the entire structure, for more than three times the price, the value that it was rented before. So think about this. It was something that we need to do, but the reality is that we delayed for a long time. But now this new building is there for more than 10 years. I believe that the year that we we made the renovation was 2011. So, and the building is rented, the warehouse is rented, everything is okay. So when we were postponing, avoiding to do it, delaying, what we were really delaying was the discomfort of doing of dealing with all of this task, this everything that we need to do. Sometimes you think, I am avoiding the workout, I am avoiding the conversation or the project, but in reality, what you are avoiding is uncertainty, frustration, embarrassment, effort, fear of failure. Think about this. For example, the warehouse, it was rented for more than 10 years. And when I finished the renovation, I wouldn't know if it is going to be rented soon or not. So it's something very difficult to deal with. And I really believe that if we understand this better, if we understand the process, it enables us to do what we need to do. Another thing that I really believe that happens when it comes to delaying is that tomorrow feels cheaper than today. You know, we believe that tomorrow will be easier. I don't know why. Maybe you are going to you think that today you are too busy or tired, something like that. But you know something that happens with me when I want to do something that is not easy and that I am delaying. I start to talk to myself about that subject, and I start to go around it very calmly and deeply and try to understand and try to convince myself that I need to do that. I try to talk to myself in a way. It's something that it's really like a dialogue. Each part of this dialogue brings up the pros, the cons of that subject. For example, now all my investments are in real estate. Not all, but 90%. And it has been this way for more than 20 years. I'm always building, accumulating real estate. But I understand that in the future would be preferable that these investments were in another kind of investment, in REITs or in stocks, something like that. But you know, for me, it's difficult to convince myself to do it. Because when you start to do something that works out for you your entire life, it's difficult to change. But the reality is this: when I get older, will be will be difficult for me. I it's not that just is going to be difficult. I don't want either to be dealing with tenants, to dealing with maintenance of the properties, a lot of things. I'm not saying today or 5 years from now. But I'm saying something like 20 years from now, you know, in investing, this is how far you need to program yourself. So I'm really doing this. I'm really talking to myself about this subject and trying to understand what would be the best option. It's not simply delaying the solution. It's really understanding what is the better solution. But the reality is this: once you understand what this solution is, you need to really understand that your mind will always tells you that tomorrow is cheaper than today. And you really need to avoid this. Because delaying is like a vote for your life, like it is today. It's like you are saying, today everything is okay, the way that I'm doing things. Because every time that you postpone some decision, you are making a decision. Because not acting is also an action. It's like if you are voting for things the way that they are right now. I'm talking about investments, but let's talk about something more clear for us. Because when you are investing, in many moments, you may feel that you are choosing between two or more good options. But when you say, let's say about training, for example, everybody knows that training it's a good thing. But if you avoid to do it, every day that you do this, you will be voting for things that the way that they are right now. One other thing that may help us to really change things and understand this better is to understand that to consolidate a new habit takes time. I don't know precisely how long it takes, but I know that it's not um, in 1 week or something like that. When I start running 2 years ago or something, I proposed myself to run every day, early in the morning, as soon as I wake up. And when I started to do that, it wasn't easy. But I negotiate with myself, I keep doing it, and nowadays it's much easier to keep doing the running every day. So my friends, to wrap up everything here, let's remember the three insights that we bring up in this video. First of all, you are not avoiding the task, you are avoiding the feeling, the discomfort that comes with the task. So it's not that what you are doing is difficult. It is difficult, but you are avoiding to do it because you want to be comfort. Second thought, that tomorrow feels cheaper. But in reality, tomorrow is not the best day. Today is the best day. For example, let's say to invest, for example. As soon as you start, the better. So, if you understand that your mind will try to tell you that tomorrow will be easier, then you are in a good place to avoid this trap. And the third insight is this, that every delay is a vote for your current life, for the way that you are doing things today. So you may think, why I'm doing the way that I'm doing right now? Should I keep doing this? Or should I really change? One important thing is this: you need to be grounded in the reality. The reality is going to help you because your mind can advocate every decision. For example, if you think, oh, I'm going to train because training is good for my health, I want to improve my body, I want to get older more in a more healthy way, your mind is going to support you. But if you say, oh no, I don't want to do that, I want to be in the couch, it's not good for me because I don't like it, your mind is going to support you. But the important part is this: the reality is what is going to support you. The reality is on your side. Why is that? Simply this. Think about this. In the reality, what is best for your health? Training. Simple as that. So this is the reality. So you need to differentiate what is reality from what is your mind talking. If you are able to do that, you are going to make better decisions. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.